Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing well. I am doing wonderful. I heard something really cool from a friend of mine that you cannot be a victim and a master at the same time. That's so true. If you don't keep your happy aura of knowing that God prepared a way for you the whole time, you're going to fall into the mindset of the poor me bullshit that people of the Indian nation don't carry around. They're too strong for that. You might have noticed. So I'm representing for them today. I have never in my life braided one part of my hair. Okay, stay there, Curl. All right. See, the part of my blood Powhatan that is like Pocahontas, and yeah, everybody's related to Pocahontas, right? Sure you are. Okay, but anyway, and then migrated into the Cree up into Canada, and a lot of that maybe perhaps where I got the French and the Scotch Irish and the rest of the stuff there. And I've got English and German and Czech and Polynesian. I mean, I could go on and on and on with my bloodline, but I'm representing for the red people today. If I put it like this, it'd be like a Cornish. You'll see. Depending on how I wear my hair, with different styles, I can bring out my different heritages like that. So, anyway, really. Which is a little different talk about a fashion, so let's go back to the representation of not being a victim. With that mentality, how can you lead other people in the ways of God with your lack of trust? And I'm just asking, I'm not saying people do or who does specifically, but I have noticed that people have a tendency, when you portray a weakness of your faith through your victim mentality type of thing. That's my outlook from knowing that 100 million of my people died in this country. That's my outlook on the strength and the beauty of those people. So that's what I'm talking about today. So, and I know there's prejudiced people all over the planet, whether you're just prejudiced against a certain age group. I saw somebody targeting the youngsters. I don't think it's funny. Maybe I would share something around, but I'm really cautious and very conscious about it, but a lot of people aren't. So it's like, nah, I can't even share something that's meant to be a joke, because then, not because I'm afraid it's going to offend somebody. If people need offended, I'm your lady, but just unnecessary generation interference between people getting along and loving each other. So it's like, nah, I'm not going to share it. But it said that the younger generations can't even read cursive writing. And it said, so we'll attack them and rewrite at dawn, It's like, yeah, it's funny, but it's not that funny. Not really, because the underlying separation of people is not a cool thing. For older people to look down on the younger in any extreme or vice versa, it's like, I'm not joining in, but it was a bit humorous, But it's sad. It's like if people used to know another language and then they no longer know it and they go into something else, it's like something's lost. So with the cursive writing in the United States, like there's nothing more beautiful. If you've ever read a poem or a prayer in Old English writing with the beautiful cursive, and I mean that was artwork. It's incredible. You'll see some of it, like in Bibles and stuff, you'll see depictions of, it's like ink drawings, but sketches, out of the letters with the italic Roman numeral and all the artwork around it. But if it's cursive, it's just beautiful, So anyway. Yeah. So I'm thinking about people that, yeah, I mean, ultimately people are accepting of wars, trying to create separations and civil wars and unrest right here in the United States. Don't buy their bullshit. There is no separation of any people in God's eyes, no matter what. Freaks of nature tell you different. They're being freaky, and that's the way it is. There is no poor me bullshit. God created everybody equal. Everybody. There is no person on this planet today that has older ancestors than anybody else, that has the key of all life. Get the fuck up out of here with your shit. Go away with your shit. Especially in this country. Go back to Shitsville and wipe your butt with sand and leave us the fuck alone over here. Did you know that Native American people had, they'd use mullein leaves for hygiene? Baby diapers, feminine protection. I mean, these people had their together, Seriously. You didn't see streams of filthy stuff running through their villages, and there were, like, some of the people, like, look up the Cree. They had, like, Viking longhouses. People had individual wood frame houses because they live in the woods. That was the material they were using to build these things. Then they had a community room, and they were depicted as all sleeping together. No, that was their meeting place and their dining hall, and there was room for families if something happened to one of the community's houses. There was the longhouse for them for that reason, but people had their own homes, and they're like thoroughly depicted different than how it really is, and they're still doing the same thing right now. Look them up. And they also are related to the Mohawks, the Powhatans, the Sioux. Let's see, Dakota and Lakota Sioux. There's different ones. Same family that migrated across the upper North America, from east to west. And they used to go up and down the coast and fish, like in summertime and that type. And then, yes, duh. And then go back up north and hunt like wild game. And so they sort of would migrate, different families did different things too. There were ones that got involved with, like, when Europeans came, they were great friends to the fur trappers, and they would be like guides through the waterways and different things, transporting goods into the United States with their canoes, portaging across waterways, like they pick it up and carry it and then put it back in the water, and they had trails, still do have trails. We have like a fur post. My son worked there, where they show people the way life used to be. They have like a blacksmith. They have around here the Ojibwe killed their way into the Sioux land, but they have the Ojibwe. They had birch bark round homes, kind of like that, so with wood frames, so they're not just depicted by, and they had clothes, but they depict people like, oh, they're out there warring with and socializing with no clothes on, or no, these people, they were very morally sound and prayed to their Father, the Great Spirit, every day. They still do. That's why I'm not shutting up about them. It's like they're getting so dishonored in their own country, and I've never been able to tolerate it. For some of you that don't know, I didn't even know what heritage I was, because they lied to me to try and keep it from me. For some reason that I found out what that reason was. Yeah. So, anyway. But I always thought it was just disgraceful that they'd say somebody, like they found this place. It's like somebody walking in my house and saying they just discovered some place they want to take over. It's like, I'm not buying it. I've never bought it. If you do, there's something really wrong inside your heart, I just want them to have justice. They're good people. They're amazing. They progress like any other culture. There's doctors, lawyers, business owners, you know. I'm just not going to be quiet about it. Yeah, there's some that still live on the reservation, and they have schools and communities and towns, and, and they're sovereign. They have their own police, It's like when I worked at the casino, there was no cops from the United States. They had reservation cops, So, yeah. That might be enough on that for today, but yeah. So I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you have a really blessed week. I hope we all do. I hope everybody with a mindset of any kind of war is justified will understand that there never was a time where it was justified. Never. Not in the eyes of God. And you can make all the excuses on thou shalt not kill. There is no extrapolations after that. There's a period. So you can say whatever you want after that. Whatever. There would have been a way to extract people out of a society instead of wiping the whole thing out like they did here too. Just shut the F up with anywhere your brain goes after thou shalt not kill, you're wrong. We're all connected. What do you think you're doing? I thought I was done, but I guess I wasn't for a minute there. Oh, anyway. Yeah. Doug went to get some lumber. He found some really nice, I'm presuming, and it probably is, lengths of old barn wood that you can use like on sheds and stuff for like siding. It's beautiful. I think it's oak because that's what they used to build the barns out of, before metal was popular, or created, like aluminum sheds, or steel, you know. Cheers, everybody. Um, the Masons that raised me took me to a powwow when I was 12, and they named me and made me part of their tribe, and I didn't know why, but they did. My name is Key Kopashada. That's the whole thing. So I am Key. I'm the Key. So, well, I am. What you want me to say? It's all true. So I had a very strange childhood. I had a white, I call him Uncle Harry Haganah, married a Native American princess, and we went up to visit them and spend some time, and the powwow was funky, and but I had a great time meeting Grandma, this little native lady, up in her room, sat up there with pieces of material making quilts. So I made a couple, but I made mine out of denim, and then I backed them with I had like a fleece backing, and then I patchworked different pieces of denim that would have like some really cool black brass pieces on it and stuff. It was pretty heavy. It was pretty cool. I made like jean jackets and all kinds of clothes, all kinds of things. So, I used to, I should say. I think the last time I did, I made a little sundress for, um, she was at the time my youngest granddaughter, and I made it sort of like a floral, well, it was like an orange, um, with yellow and white in it, and she had red hair, so it just make it pop, So anyway, so I made her this little sundress and other things for her first summer ever on this earth, you know. Nothing too revealing or short, just a cute little dress, that tied here and with ribbons. And the ribbon it went really cute with it. I can't remember what color it was, but it was with these little kittens on it, called Hello Kitty. So, yeah, anyway. So it had Hello Kitty ribbon on it, and Hello Kitty ribbon around the bottom, and Hello Kitty ribbon around the top, and the Hello Kitty ties, and so it made it look special, I bought her a beautiful Easter dress. One's like when I was little, I had a couple dresses. I just loved them. They were my going to church dresses, But I didn't want to take them off when I put them on. Then I got into a mood in my life where I didn't want anybody looking at me, and I wasn't wearing any dresses anymore. Forget that. My oldest granddaughter is in that mode right now. She wears a lot of army fatigue type of stuff. It's like, yeah, and I don't blame her. It's like, yeah, just try and do something to me, you freaking perverts. Freaks of nature out there. think they can do and say anything they want. Well, it's time you find out you can't, Yes, I have 4 granddaughters. Isn't that a scary thought? And there's another prayer come true, and I told my sons this: you will never have a boy. I'm not putting any more of that bloodline, that family. No more males out of that family is allowed. Forget it. And that's exactly what happened. Go figure. Tell me prayers aren't real. They sure are. Ask and you shall receive, you know. So, blah, 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 blah. So, when I worked up at the casino, I'd braid both sides like that and pull it together in the back because I was a dealer, so it would not fall in my face, but they could see it. You want to see how long that's skinny? Pretty long. Whoops. Stay back there. That's one thing. Like with natives, I put my hair up like when I'm busy and everything, and I know they braid it, but I have to, like when I'm cooking and gardening and doing things, how can you do things with your hair? And I mean, I got a lot of hair too, but how can you do things with your hair all over the place when you're trying to do, like these women are out there making videos and they're cooking and their freaking hair is hanging all over it and everything. I'll dunk a little hair in here today for you. Yeah, I bet your family likes that extra protein, huh? Oh, that's what we should do. Grow our hair and sell it to Bill Gates so he can put it in his fake meat. And it won't be as fake anymore. It'll actually have some substance, some protein in there. There's an idea, Yeah. I had the weirdest dream when I was waking up for a few hours. I tried to sleep in as long as I could because I needed it. But it started like with pieces of my hair, like 3 of them, and then I was thinking like 3, 6, 9, and it looked like arteries, and I don't know how far I was counting up, but I was constructing and destructing mathematics in my head. And I usually don't remember my dreams, but this was very odd. It's like, what am I doing math in my sleep? Come on now, It was just really weird. Maybe there's a message there with the 3 branches going out. I don't know. That was just a thought. I don't know. Maybe a little God will probably tell me that's what you were doing. I was teaching you something. Probably, I used to have a lot of nightmares, but I don't oh boy. I went through few decades of my life with extreme nightmares. I mean, I just couldn't shake them, I just had so many horrific things happen that it just would stick with me, and I wasn't able to rest or find any peace. It wasn't that I wasn't peaceful inside, it's that everything around me was chaos, Cheers. I gotta get a hold of 007 in a day or so and do a show with him. I'm gonna ask him to give me a couple choices. I want to sing a little karaoke song with you, just to see how a couple of angels can harmonize. Vulgar angels, albeit, but angels still the same, you know. maybe Smash Mouse walking on the sun. Yeah, you might as well be walking on the sun. Doo, doo, doo. No, not that one. Something maybe a little nicer. So anyway, that barnwood's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see some of it put up. And then we've got a line on some other lumber that is finger jointed, if you know what that is, tongue and groove. I used to run one of them machines couple times. I learned how to run it when I was working in a sawmill, which was really so cool to see the lumber that was brought in trees, ripped and planed, and some of it ran through the finger joiner, and just so cool. Yeah, I love that. My favorite thing there was a thing called breakdown. Breakdown. Go ahead and give it to me. You'd have to get up on the side of this huge machine, was about 20 feet wide, and it was metal, and they'd bring it in, and you had to have a long pole, and you stood on the side of this. They'd cut the bands as they were feeding it through the machine. These were rough cut, already ripped but not planed 2x4, so that's called like green boards. Like you can be on a part of it was like pulling green boards is what they call it. I was pulling plain boards most of the time, but if I got to and then stacking them for banding and whatever and grading them, but break down these a big bundle of like a couple dozen 20-foot 2x4s would come in up above you, and you had to take this pole with sort of like a hook thingy on there, and you're standing on the edge, and you had to pull that band, and they'd all fall down onto this belt to go through the planer. But you had to be really careful because it was dangerous, and them things could come down on you if you weren't quick and really good at it. And I just enjoyed the challenge of the whole thing, the bigness of it. I mean, like even the saw that ripped them things was like 6 feet around. It would deaden your soul if you didn't have earplugs in and you heard them ripping a tree in the other side of that sawmill. It was a big place, just huge. So, but yeah, I love doing that, and I'd jump up there, rip them down, jump back down, go over and pull them off the belt after they were planed and stack them, and I just loved it there. And then the wood industry went down. They stopped building houses. They stopped logging. Everything was crazy because there was a lot of people too. Oh, you're cutting trees. No, they're cutting old wood forest, planting fresh stuff in places where there wasn't any trees before. I had a big issue with some loggers when I first met them. And then I got to know a couple people that were working at the university in the ecology, and they loved the loggers, and they were in agreeance of being there and living there and knowing the difference of totally raping the land or managing it responsibly. And I could see that there was different stages of growth, and what they were telling me wasn't untrue. So I got to realize that firsthand. Same like within the oil field. When you live somewhere where things are going on, you know the truth about things, even if the establishment is lying to us. Like, when aren't they? When their mouths are open, they're lying to us. So I'm going to get this uploaded. That's my message for today is you're either a master or you're a victim. Take your pick, but you can't lead people in the world with a victim mentality because you're not the only boo-hoos out in the world. We all have our boo-hoos. You personally did not die. Neither did I. We need to shut the fuck up on all that shit and get together to lead the next generation out of this sucky hole the elders before us put us in. Right? Right. So that's where I stand. And that's the right thing to do. So, okay, everybody. Peace. No, I could even sing a native song at you, but it's a war song, the only one I actually know. But I could say, like, no, I won't say that either. I'm going to be nice, I swear I am. No, I'm trying, God help me. You know, I ask that a lot because people are ignorant for their own gains and they're not thinking of other people with all that. So, and then I do get a little angry about it. So, what can I say? Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. Thank you for joining me.